Hello, 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 YouTube. How's everybody doing today on this Work It Out Wednesday? It's hump day, it's midday. We're halfway through our work week, halfway through whatever it is you have going on. It's almost over for this week. So, welcome back to another edition or session with Real Talk Therapy. Hadn't been saying my name, so today let me reintroduce myself. I'm Ebony, and thank you so much for those of you that have taken the time to not only subscribe, like, comment, and share, but to offer personal encouragement, the calls, the texts, all of the support, and especially from those of you that I don't know that have visited the channel for whatever reason. I just hope that you continue to receive what it is you need to do or whatever it is you need to help you do whatever it is that you're trying to do, and to reach those goals that you're trying to reach. Here at Real Talk Therapy, we don't edit, bleep, delete. It is what it is. So today, you got me on in between hair days. So, I really contemplated, like, oh God, I should do something to my hair. Oh God, I should put on a wig, and oh God, I shouldn't get on here. I've had my braids, yada yada yada. But if we go talk for real, there are some days where females, especially African American females, we have some downtime with our hair, and we struggle. And so I'm in between hair appointments. So shout out to my hairdressers. I actually have two, and I've been wearing braids lately. So shout out to my my stylist that braids my hair. That worked it out and got me where I am for midday and comfortable in the skin that I'm in at this point. So before we get started, we showcased our shirts for today, and today's shirt, and I'm going to post a picture of it so you can see it a little better. But the shirt says, I pray, Pray, for those who pray, Prey. See that's a tiger on me. And of course the Real Talk Therapy logo is in there. And on the topic of that is a verse I heard recently in one of T.I.'s new songs, and it's called Beg Your Pardon. And as I shared with you guys on yesterday, music is one of my coping mechanisms. And so for Work It Out Wednesday, today we're going to talk about how things can, just about anything can be salvaged, or it can be worked out when there's clear communication, when there's clarification, when there is open, honest conversations about what's going on and what's happening, instead of talking about people and or talking around people. Sometimes we tend to talk at people, but you will have those folks that are around you or try to be attached to you for whatever reason. Some people will support you only to the point of you not doing better than what they're doing. And when they start seeing you being more successful than them, or making your way, or doing something that they didn't aspire to do, then they no longer want to support you. And they go from praying for you to actually trying to prey on you, or be a predator and try to, to come at you. And that coming at you and all of that is, I'm save that for tomorrow's episode. But nonetheless, you have those folks who will definitely be around you because they have selfish reasons, selfish motivations, and you don't see it initially because you really believe that if you're being a good friend to people, if you're showing yourself friendly, then people are being a good friend to you. Or if you're in a relationship with someone else, or with someone, and you are being devoted to this person, you're loving, you're caring, you're giving all that you got, your normal expectation is the person is giving that back to you. In a working professional relationship, we feel like if we show up on time, we go above and beyond the call of duty, we're doing more than what's asked of us, then quite naturally, my employer is going to see that, and I'm going to get accolades and kudos and pats on the back. Well, today on Work It Out Wednesday, I'm going to help you work these things out, or at least give you some tools that you can use to help you work these things out within yourself. Sometimes we end up losing relationships. There's family conflict. There's all kinds of things, all because of a misunderstanding, or all because we didn't put ourselves in a position to receive the information that we were being provided. We already had our guard up. Oh, they coming for me. Oh, they want my spot. Oh, they jealous of me. Oh, this, and this. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people really aren't thinking about you in that light. But there may be a few that are. If we go to the spiritual realm of it and we look at Jesus as he walked on this earth and he handpicked 12 disciples to come and go do this mission with him. And so today I want you to kind of think about those 12 people. And again, like I said, if you don't practice Christianity, if you don't believe in the Holy Bible or any of those things, you can look at this explanation of a parable and get the lesson out of it. Don't focus so much on the fact that what I'm getting ready to share with you came out of the Bible, because like I always say, your higher power is your higher power. I'm not here to change your belief, but I'm going to always stand tall in what I believe. But in that, Jesus came down and he went around and handpicked 12 people, homeboys, homegirls, whatever you want to call them. But he handpicked them knowing all of their flaws, on down to the fact that one of them was going to sell him out for 30 pieces of silver. Now, just imagine that. Jesus has this status, but throughout his entire life, he played the backfield. Jesus didn't want to be in the limelight. And what a lot of y'all don't realize, those of you who want to be in the limelight comes with exposure. When you want to be up close and personal, people are going to be able to see everything that's wrong with you. But because that's what you want, you're putting yourself out there. And you don't realize that. So when your stuff starts to crumble and people start to see you for who you really are or what you're really struggling with, you start blaming this one, that one, and everybody else. Oh, they like I said, they coming for me, or somebody did. Ain't nobody doing that. You're self-sabotaging yourself because you wanted to be in the limelight. The limelight exposes you. So unless you're comfortable in your flaws, you shouldn't want to be in the front. But the other part about being in the front, if you want to be up there and you want to be seen and you want to be glorified and you want to be praised, you better make sure you know what you're doing before you put yourself out there. Because sometimes you can get up there in the front and you're front and center and people are looking for you to deliver, and then you can't deliver. So going back to that, like I said, Jesus picked these people and he knew what they were about. He knew them. When we're choosing our friends or our mates, or even within our families, as people grow and they change, we don't know a person's mindset. We have to take the time to get to know people. One of the things that I always find funny is how people can meet and 2 weeks later is, oh, love you, you're my best friend, I can't live life without you. But that's because in that 2-week time span, neither one of you have done anything to offend the other party. But the minute that you feel offended, or the minute that the friendship doesn't benefit you, think about how you react to it. Think about how you respond to it. And sometimes people just, grow apart, and that's natural. That happens. But, some people can meet each other too and be dating for 2 weeks, fall in love, and be married for 50 years. So things can go whatever way, they can go as long as you work at it. The cliche of it is what it is. In some instances, that's true. In a lot of instances, it is what we make it. So it becomes what we want it to become, or it stays what it is because we don't want to put the work in it and see it go anywhere else. We instantly want the accolades. I think about little grandson, and when he does something, he looks around to see who's watching, and if you're not watching, he's gonna get your attention and he's gonna start clapping his hands because he's done something that we've praised him for. And so he's looking for that praise, but he's a child. And so right now he doesn't understand the difference between it. But there are some adults who still behave in that childlike manner. And it's unfortunate because it can cause you to end up losing yourself, losing whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, losing your voice, losing your light, because you're looking for praise and accolades. And a lot of times, if you're on a job and you're doing what the job requires, you should not look for the pat on the back. I'm thankful that that was never a motivator for me. It was never, oh, Ebony, you're doing a great job. Oh, you're this, you're this, you're that. Because I recognize that I'm not perfect and there's always room for me to grow. Now, I do give, I give praise and accolades and things where they're due, but I'm not going to sit and say, oh, you did great, with every little thing for anybody. But everybody needs and wants to feel appreciated. That's part of us being human beings and the socialization piece of it. But don't let that be your fuel for how you live your life, because everybody's not going to always clap for you. You got to remember, fans will buy a seat up close and personal just to look at what you're doing wrong so they can go back and talk about it. They'll spend good money to come sit and see what you're doing wrong so they can run back and say, oh, she ain't perfect, she ain't this, she got this, that's gonna happen. And for a long time, I let those thoughts keep me from moving forward with my dream and what I wanted to do. A lot of times I did. I'm like, man, people are gonna, see this, say that, do this, do that. But should that stop me from delivering an intervention or delivering or having a conversation with someone that can help save them when their boat is out there on that uncharted waters that we talked about? If I've gone ahead of you, I'm not telling you how to go, but I'm just telling you, hey, I was kind of there and this is what I did. And even if I wasn't there, we can look at where you are together and try to figure out some ways to help you get through that. Hence, Work It Out Wednesday. When we constantly go through different things that we refuse to sit back and work out, you end up holding the brunt of that. Because remember, forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. It's for you. You can forgive someone who hurt you and move on with your life. If you sit harboring that stuff, you're going to be one sad, sick individual around here. And that's no way that you want to live your life. Again, Jesus knew that out of the 12, he was going to be betrayed. And while he was breaking bread with them, he feeding them, they eating. So one of y'all at this table, you go betray me. I already know what you get ready to do. And I already know who you are. But that didn't stop him from handpicking that person to go with him on that journey, because he still has something for the person that we would consider the enemy, the ops, the whatever y'all call them, the person who don't like you, the hater or whatever. The hater or the ops or the enemy or the betraying person can learn something from you too. So when they find themselves being in their position to grow and get where they need to be, they'll stop preying on you, P-R-E-Y, like this tiger, and then they will start praying to get through what they're going through and learn how to maneuver and look for their ways to figure it out like you did. And then you have to get to that place too. And that's a journey that sometimes some of us have to take by ourselves. But in this midst of the 12, Jesus, knowing who was going to do this to him, he still, the Bible uses the word girded himself. I'm not completely sure, what that meant. But when you're getting ready to wash someone's feet, and you think about the setting of Bible days. Now, I'm not big on feet. Anybody can tell you, I'm just not big on feet. There's a couple of people feet in this world that I will fool with, but I'm just not big on feet. But when I think about Jesus' day and the disciples and the walk and all the places that they went to, they walked on dirt. I'm just talking about dirt. I don't know what else was out there because I wasn't there. The Bible isn't clear. No Bible scholar, none of you preachers and teachers and all that can come try and tell me, because you weren't there either. We just know the world was not the way it is now. So their feet had to be dusty and crusty. I don't think they had lotion. They might have had some oils because, the who was it, Mary Magdalene, or she anointed Jesus' head and did his feet with his oil. I don't know. But what I do know is when you think about somebody's feet, they got on sandals. I don't know if they had shoes like we had or whatever. So the worst case scenario is I'm going to bend down and wash your feet, and I don't know where them feet been the last time you washed them. I don't know none of that. But I'm showing you enough grace and mercy to bend down and wash your feet, and I know that you're going to betray me. So in the natural sense of that, we're not necessarily washing people's feet, but when we show them grace and mercy, we are helping them in ways that nobody else is trying to help them. We're trying to nurture their dreams in ways that nobody else is trying to nurture that. We are being that friend, being that wife, being that girlfriend, being that cousin, being that sister, being that daughter, being that mother, father, son, whatever it is that you think you're being. You're doing all of that for this person. And to give that of yourself to somebody that's going to turn right around and hurt you, that's a hard pill to swallow. And Jesus already knew what was going to happen to him. We're not fortunate enough to know who's going to do those things to us. And I'm not even sure who this might be for today, because I told y'all all of these are things that are for me as well. But when that betrayal happens, I'm here to tell you it's two things you can do. One, you can let it take you all the way out of your character, and you can let it take you off course. Two, you can figure out how to work it out within yourself to the point where, yeah, this happened. Yeah, it hurt, but it's not getting ready to stop me. I still got these waters to get through. I'm still going to be the person that I am. I'm still going to show love. I'm still going to, in Jesus' case, I'm still going to die for you, Judas. Hey, it ain't going to change my mission. I'm still going to die for you. I knew what you were going to do to me. And when you can experience those things and still say, you know what? I forgive you, because 9 times out of 10, what you're doing is not necessarily about me. It's dealing with some insecurities and some things that are going on within you. Now, it took me a minute to get here because I am human, and I have been in situations where if you hurt me, I want to try to figure out how I can hurt you back. But when your nature is not designed like that, it's only so far that you can go. And what is it really going to benefit anybody in the end? So as I learned to pray for those that have prayed on me, whether they wanted to use me, whether they wanted to use my ideas, whether they thought they wanted to have what I have or do what I'm doing or live how I'm living, you have your own life. I want you to tap into what there is for you so that I can sit and praise and cheer you along the way of your heart's desire. And some people share similar dreams. But just know that if the dream is similar, the path to get it is going to be different because we're individuals. You got to walk your path. I have to walk my path. And we want to bring people with us. I was so bad, I wanted to put people on my back and I'm going to carry them up under my arm and I'm going here and I'm going there. Because if you tell me that this is what you want and I'm in a position to help you achieve it, I want to see you do well. And I know that, if I know you have the potential, I want to see you walk into that. But you have to really want it for yourself too. You can't want something because you see somebody else having it or you see somebody else living this way because we don't know what people are doing in order to have the life that they live. But we also don't want to dim our own shine and quiet our own voice because everybody's not going to like when the attention is not on them. Everybody is not going to like when the people aren't hanging on their every word. Everybody is not going to like, when people shift and things go on. And that's why you can't live for applause because people aren't going to be clapping for you all the time. They'll clap, they'll do, and then they're going to move on. And you got to be okay with that. Experience that and learn how to clap for yourself. Pat yourself on the back if that's what you need, or get to a place where that's not something that you need to live your life with or to maneuver by that. And so, knowing that Judas was going to do this to him, it didn't stop Jesus from bringing him into his fold and making him a part of his family. Jesus had what a lot of us don't have. Now, Some people do have intuition, you have dreams. Sometimes you can see things, or you think you might see something. Sometimes there's a manifestation of things. You need to make sure you tap into that and understand where it's coming from, because sometimes in that dream, it's not somebody that's getting ready to do something to you. It's you getting ready to do something to somebody, or you have done something to somebody. And so the biggest thing about that, we don't like being talked about. We don't like nobody saying things about us. We don't like being, our head being on the chopping block. But if you don't like it, stop talking about people, and stop putting people's head on the chopping block, and stop downing people because you no longer benefit from that friendship or that relationship. Live your freaking life. One of the most powerful things that I received, this week from some loved ones was one of them, because I'm always apologizing for stuff. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't do this. Please, I apologize for that. I'm sorry. And I received a message that simply said, you're human too. Give yourself some grace and mercy. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, because you'll forget to do stuff. You might not always be tuned into something because you have something else to do, and you don't have to apologize for it. You're not going to always be who and what everybody around you wants you to be, especially if you are just who you are, and be yourself. Know that there are going to be times where you're going to make mistakes. And all you have to do is be able to hold yourself accountable. I guarantee you, if you hold yourself accountable, what anybody else has to say about the scenario or the situation or whatever, it will not sting as bad, because you've already prepared yourself for the blow. So the cliche for today's session is, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is the biggest lie. I don't know who created that little saying. I don't know where we got it from, but that's a lie. Sticks and stones won't necessarily break your bones unless enough force is added to it and somebody really want to break your bones with a stick and a stone. Let's just be real. This is real talk. Words will never hurt you. That's a lie. We have been in a position where we've said things to loved ones. We've said things even to enemies and people that we don't like that was hurtful. And once those words come out of our mouth, my husband, he had to help me see this. Once you say some of this stuff, you cannot take it back. And when it sticks on people, you don't get to be the judge of how long they wear what you've said. You know you don't want to be the receiver of hurtful words. So if you don't want to be the receiver on the receiving end of something hurtful like that, you got to be more mindful and more conscious enough to realize, even if I'm mad, because that's the biggest excuse. Oh, I was in my feelings. So they just need to understand, oh, that's just me. That's just how I am. Well, I'll give you another cliche if that's your mindset. If that's just how you are and you don't care about hurting people, if you can dish it, you better get yourself prepared to take it. Because a lot of people can dish this stuff, but they can't take it when they're on the receiving end of it. And so you have to start having that tough skin. Now, what I haven't done since I've been on here is kind of shout out some personal things about me. So I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, pledged at Elizabeth City State University, spring of '98. And during that pledge and initiation process, I learned that ducks' water rolls off their back. And so in order to be doing something, in order to follow your dreams, in order to be where you want to be in life, in order to do whatever it is, you got to know you're going to be talked about. And you got to learn to start letting that stuff roll off your back. Anything that we retain will affect us. And if we hold on to those words, they will continue to hurt us. Learn how to process what's been said, respect how that person feels. Let them have that, because that's how they feel. That's not how you have to live your life, though. Anybody's perception of you is just that, their perception. But as you start trying to look at yourself and see where the changes are necessary and what you can do different, then you will find how, maybe in that instance I was acting like that. I had to learn that, if people call me out my name and, call me the B word, I'm going to stop for a minute and see if I was acting like one. Because if I was, then, hey, that's how you feel. Okay. But I know I'm not the B word. I'm Ebony. I'm who I am. And so I don't retain that and wear that. That's just how you felt about me in that moment. So in some instances, I'm okay with words. It all depends on who they come from. If I'm being real, it all depends on the circumstances around them. But then in some instances, I'm not okay with things that are said to me. And I do reach out and try to retaliate. But I'm learning different ways to process and deal with things so that I'm not out here putting myself in a position to have a heart attack because I'm worried to death or I got anxiety about how somebody feels or how somebody's going to look at me or what that gamut is. I don't have a lot of female friends, never have. And the fact that I pledged a sorority was surprising to a lot of people. I don't have a sister. So I grew up with 3 brothers. But the sense of sisterhood, the sense of connection, and all of those things are really, really strong to me. And I tell people all the time, once we go through the process of becoming friends and getting to know each other, I usually start to look at my friends as family because that's how I would treat you. But everybody is not me, and everybody will not do that. Everybody is not you, and everybody will not see that. So you just have to look at what it is that you will do. And so if Jesus was able to say, I know what these people are going to be. I know Peter going to cut that man ear off when we get into this little brawl over in Gethsemane. And I ain't about that. But I ain't going to not hang around Peter because he about that. I'm going to bring him around and I'm going to show him there's other ways to handle conflict. I'm going to bring Judas along because I'm going to show him what it looks like. Oh, God. I'm going to show him what it looks like to still be loved after betrayal. I'm going to bring doubting Thomas along because I'm going to show him what it looks like. You doubted me, but I was still here for you. I'm going to bring Matthew with me so as he's around here collecting these taxes, he know how to interact with these people. Each person that he chose has something about them that they have this gift, and I want to show them how to use it in the right way. So he didn't go out here looking for perfect people because there are no perfect people to choose from. And when we spend our days and spin our wheels trying to be perfect and we shy away from what is within us and who we are and what our specialties are, or be afraid to do those things that we want to walk into because somebody got something to say, man, work it out. Work it out within yourself, and not just on Wednesday. Work it out for a lifetime. Work it out to where you're okay with who you are, where you are, what you look like when it's your in-between hair days, what you don't look like on those days, so that you can learn to pray for those that are praying for you. But in that, get the lesson that you need to learn how to not be a predator too. Because don't get it twisted. There's been times where I've been the predator and I've preyed on people too. We all struggle with something. And it's okay to admit it. And it's okay to get help with it. It's okay to go and find out how can I cope and live the remainder of my days in peace and in harmony and not letting this stuff bother me. It's all right. Because we always say, why me? Why not you? On this Good Wednesday. If we're going to pray and ask God for patience, what do you think God is going to give you? Is he just going to magically poop? Okay, Ebony, there you go. There goes some patience. Or is he going to put me in some situations where I got to learn to be patient? I'm going to say that one more time. When we pray and ask for stuff, and the prayer is, Lord, I need for you to give me patience. He's not just going to, boop, there you go. You got all the patience in the world. He's getting ready to push you through some trying times. And a lot of religious people like to say test. You can't have a testimony without a test or what have you. He's going to put you through those things so you can learn patience. And in those times is where you're being shaped and molded and pressed, like olives, the process of an olive. And we'll go through that at another time. But it's during those times that you're discovering what your strengths are and what your and I don't like to say weaknesses, but what your areas of improvement are. Because nobody is weak in my eyes. We all have areas of improvement. So on this Good Work It Out Wednesday, I want you to start looking at those things that you want to work on within yourself, those things that you need to let go, those conflict and issues. Work on being a better communicator. So when you need to say what you need to say, people understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to say. Because sometimes you get the results that you get because I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So work on those things within yourself. So when you present yourself, your results can be different, or they can be, in line with what you may want them to be. But do not ever beat yourself up for the choices that you've made. You've made them, you've made it through them, and you can make it past them. So please continue to like, comment, share, definitely subscribe, because guys, the more people that subscribe, the more we can do with this channel, the more we can start really helping people. There will be genuine needs. We can reach folks that aren't being reached, and we can do so many different things if we work and collaborate together. So again, I want to thank all of you that have done so thus far, and I look forward to having our Real Talk therapy session with you on tomorrow. So work it out Wednesday, whatever your it may be. Bye.